Let me tell you, there's nothing quite like waking up to the sound of your own life being ripped apart by a machine you never ordered, in a war you never wanted. Picture this. I'm standing there in my slippers, coffee still hot in my hands, watching a yellow backhoe roll up my driveway like it owns the place. The woman in charge, Mara Jansen, president of the so-called Lakeside Pines HOA, stood on the road, arms folded, with this smug little smile that said she thought she was about to steamroll some lonely old man out of his lakefront home. What she didn't know was that while her crew started tearing down the memories my late wife and I built with our own hands, my kids were already on the way, and every last one of them is a federal agent. You know what I mean? This wasn't going to end how she thought. The day started just how I like it. Mist over the lake. Cool, quiet, the kind that wraps around you and makes the world seem softer than it really is. I was 68 that spring, more bones than muscle, but still stubborn as ever, and these little routines, grinding my own beans, feeling the dock creak under my slippers, watching the gray water move. Those are what keep me going since Sarah passed. We built that cabin together. The dock, the boathouse at the end. We stained every board, argued over every nail. 30 years of memories layered into every inch, and that kind of history, well, it lives in your chest. But then I spotted it, a garish orange notice, nailed right to the door Sarah and I painted together. It wasn't taped, not even thumbtacked, but nailed, like whoever put it there wanted to leave a scar. The notice said I owed nearly 12 grand in HOA fees, final warning, demolition scheduled. The catch? My property wasn't even in their HOA. Never had been. My grandfather's deed proves it. That's when the confusion hit. Had to be a clerical error, right? Just some office drone clicking the wrong plot on a county map. I called the number listed for the HOA. Sweet voice answers, introduces herself as Mara. I explained politely. No anger, just ma'am. I think there's been a mix-up. She pulls up my file, speaks slow, syrupy, says I'm way behind on dues, and that my land was annexed by community vote 6 weeks back. She reassures me, promises it'll be fixed. But something in her voice felt rehearsed, like she'd said it before. Still, I wanted to believe. Sometimes you gotta let the system work, you know? Next morning, gone was the mist, replaced by that hard, judgmental sun. Then I hear it, the low thrum of diesel and the crunch of gravel. That wasn't a neighbor's pickup. It was a flatbed with a backhoe and a burly foreman named Ted. He tells me he's here to take down my boathouse, unless I hand over a certified check for $12,000 on the spot. I tell him, this is a mistake. He shrugs, he's just following orders. That was when I realized no amount of talking was going to help. I locked my door, hands shaking, and called my daughter, Dana. She didn't answer as my little girl. She answered as Special Agent Weller. Told me to document everything. Photos of the truck, the crew, the license plates, every piece of paperwork I had. Told me to drive straight to the county clerk's office, get a certified map. Don't just look at it, get it stamped, sealed, make it official. I did exactly what she said, and you know, when I saw that map, my property, a good half-mile outside the HOA line, I felt hope for the first time in days. But then Dana called. She'd run a background check on Mara. Turns out, this wasn't her first time pulling something like this. Fake maps, forged votes, targeting lakefront owners. I wasn't a victim of bad paperwork. I was a target. Mara had filed a fake map moving the boundary line, held a vote with dead neighbors' signatures, and now she was orchestrating this demolition to push me out. That hit me like a gut punch. I got home, demolition truck gone, but there's a man with a camera hiding by a tree, snapping photos of my living room window. He disappears before I can say a word, and that's when it sinks in. This isn't over. This is just the opening shot. That's when the cavalry arrived, my kids. Dana showed up first, all business. Then Ray, works Homeland Security. He's built like a linebacker, moves like a cop. Mark's the baby, but he's a postal inspector, sharp and full of restless energy. My kitchen table turned into a command center. Certified maps, fake maps, forged signatures, every document laid out. Mark pulled up the community vote. 3 of the supposed voters were dead or moved away a decade ago. This wasn't just fraud. This was using the memory of my friends as weapons. That hurt in a different way. Suddenly, a fresh envelope arrives, hand-delivered, no stamp. New bill, fines doubled, 23 grand now. My home's soft brown paint was now a $10,000 violation. I almost laughed at the absurdity of it all. They were just making up rules as they went, trying to bury me in fake debt. But that's when the anger settled in, cold and hard. This was about more than money now. It was about whether someone could just take your whole life with a few pieces of paper and a crooked smile. The next morning, the fight came to me. A 30-yard dumpster dropped at the end of my driveway at 5:30 a.m., blocking me in, blocking out emergency vehicles, blocking out hope. Ray saw it for what it was, a tactic. They want to box you in, Dad, make you feel helpless. But I wasn't helpless. I documented everything. Photos, times, dates. Mark called the HOA's treasurer, Greg, played the concerned son, got him on speaker, baited him into admitting the harassment was to force me to sell. That was the twist. We got their strategy on tape, plain as day. Dana wrote a cease and desist letter citing illegal blockade, fake documents, and Greg's recorded confession. The sheriff himself, who'd known me 20 years, came out, read the letter, and delivered it to Mara. She lost that smile, and the dumpster vanished within an hour. We pushed back. But that night, they went after my reputation, posted my address and violations on the HOA's Facebook, tried to shame me before the whole community. Except it backfired. Neighbors started calling. Bill, fined for a garden gnome. Cheryl, her welcome mat was too wide. Suddenly, we weren't alone. We were a resistance. Dana dug deeper. FOIA requests for 5 years of HOA records. What she found was a gold mine. $500,000 spent on maintenance, but $200,000 unaccounted for, paid to Jansen Contracting. Owner? Mara's brother. They were bleeding the community dry, covering it up with fake fines and sham votes. We gathered the neighbors, showed them the proof, fake maps, fraudulent votes, confessions, and the missing money. We agreed to file a collective complaint with the Attorney General, go after the HOA's charter. For the first time, hope felt real. But then the hammer fell. I came home from the hardware store to find the boathouse gone. Chainsawed to splinters, good lumber carted off by Mara's nephew. My whole history, gone in an afternoon. I sat on the dock, clutching a faded photo of Sarah and me, and for the first time since this started, the fight left me. They'd broken something inside that no amount of paperwork could fix. My kids just stood with me in silence. No empty comfort, just presence. That's when Ray spoke. Enough, Dad. No more defense. We go on the offensive. So we set a trap. Bought just enough lumber to make it look like I was starting to rebuild, left fake plans visible in the garage window, set up motion cameras everywhere. 3 days later, we caught Mara herself trespassing, phone out, snapping pictures, clipboard in hand, sure she was untouchable. But the trap was already closing. 2 black SUVs blocked her exit. Dana stepped out, calm as ice, and the sheriff arrived with search warrants in hand. For the first time, Mara realized she wasn't the law here anymore. Dana read her rights on the very dock she tried to steal. Mara's power dissolved like mist in the sun. She was arrested on the spot. Wire fraud, conspiracy, extortion. Her treasurer confessed. The fake documents, the stolen money, the harassment, all laid out in court, a clear line from paper trail to handcuffs. The judge didn't just find her guilty. She ordered Mara to pay $64,000 in damages, personally rebuild my boathouse, and dissolve the HOA board on the spot. The county passed new laws for independent audits. What started as an attack on one old man ended up changing the rules for everyone. The next Saturday, neighbors came with new cedar, tool belts, and coffee. We rebuilt together. Not just the boathouse, but trust. A community built on respect, not fear. As I drove the last nail into the new roof, mist curling over the lake just like that first morning, I realized gravity always wins. You can't fake the truth. It will pull you back every time. And that, my friend, is what justice looks like. Quiet, persistent, stubborn as an old man who just won't let go. So, tell me, what would you have done? When is it right to fight? And when is it right to let go? I want to hear your stories. Drop your thoughts below, and let's talk about what justice really means in a world full of bullies with fake maps and loud voices. Maybe together, we can draw some new lines, this time, the kind that nobody gets to move.